All right, we're going to dive into something that, let's be honest, affects pretty much all of us. But we're going to look at it from a totally different angle. We're not talking about procrastination as some kind of personal flaw. No, we're talking about it like a system, a hidden architecture of delay. This phrase, I work better under pressure. How many times have you heard someone say that? Or, more to the point, how many times have you said that? It's like the official slogan for procrastinators, right? Usually mumbled late at night when a deadline is just breathing down your neck.
But here's the kicker. What if that's just not true? What if science says you absolutely do not work better under pressure? Yeah, that's the uncomfortable truth we're going to unpack today. What if that whole pressure cooker productivity thing is just a story we tell ourselves to feel better about a cycle we can't seem to escape?
So let's start by just tearing down this core belief. It's such a powerful myth because, it kind of lets us off the hook. But really, getting to the truth behind it is the absolute first step to breaking free.
And this, right here, completely flips the script. We're so used to beating ourselves up over this stuff, right? We call ourselves lazy or say we have no willpower. But the science, it points somewhere totally different. Procrastination isn't some moral failing. It's a glitch in our self-regulation, and it's almost always driven by us trying to avoid negative emotions. So think about it this way. It's a design problem, not a character problem. And this is really the knockout punch to that whole I work better under pressure idea. Study after study shows that the work we do at the very last minute is actually of lower quality. That frantic burst of energy we feel, that isn't peak performance, it's panic. The only real benefit we get from believing this fiction is, well, the comfort of the fiction itself.
Okay, so if it's not a character flaw, then what in the world is it? Well, it turns out our motivation can actually be predicted, even calculated. So let's take a look at the math behind our drive to either get things done or to put them off indefinitely. This is the key to everything. Temporal motivation theory, or TMT for short. It gives us this incredible framework for understanding exactly why we choose to watch one more episode of that show instead of starting that big report. It reveals the predictable, almost mechanical pattern behind our delays. Okay, so this might look a little intimidating, but stick with me. This is the core formula. Think of it like a seesaw. Everything on top of the line, that's expectancy and value, pushes your motivation up. And everything below the line, impulsiveness and delay, pulls it right back down. Let's break down what each of these really means. First up, we've got expectancy. This one's pretty simple. Do you actually believe you can succeed at the task? If your confidence is in the gutter, well, your motivation is going to be right there with it. It's exactly why we avoid tasks that feel totally overwhelming or just impossible from the start. Next in the equation is value. How rewarding is the task for you personally? Is it meaningful? Is it fun? Is it going to get you that promotion? The higher the value, the more motivated you're going to be. It's no surprise that a boring, meaningless task is a procrastinator's worst nightmare. Now we get to the motivation killers, the things on the bottom of the equation. First, impulsiveness. This is all about your vulnerability to temptation. The more impulsive you are, the more likely you are to get pulled away by the instant reward of scrolling on your phone versus the, much more distant reward of actually finishing your project. And then there's this one, delay. This is the big one. It's probably the most powerful part of the whole equation. The further away a reward is, the less real it feels, That's why a deadline a month from now feels like a suggestion, but a deadline for tomorrow morning, suddenly you've got this massive surge of motivation. Why? Because the delay has shrunk to basically zero. The bottom of our equation gets super small, and bam, motivation just shoots through the roof. So now let's see how this whole equation plays out with a super common psychological trait, perfectionism. Because it turns out not all perfectionism is the same, and one particular type is a massive driver of delay. You can really see the two faces of perfectionism here. On one side, you've got adaptive perfectionism, which is actually healthy. It's about being conscientious and striving for excellence. But on the other side, there's maladaptive perfectionism, and this kind is absolutely paralyzing. It's all driven by a deep fear of making mistakes, and that fear directly torpedoes your expectancy of success, making the task feel emotionally dangerous, which leads you right back to procrastination. So the crucial point is this isn't just about missing a few deadlines or turning in slightly lower quality work. The stakes are actually much, much higher. That constant cycle of delaying and then panicking at the last minute puts real, measurable stress on your body. It leads to chronic stress, messes with your sleep, and over time can lead to serious cardiovascular health risks. Now, this gets right to the heart of our psychological relationship with time itself. And how you answer it has a huge impact on whether you tend to act or to delay. How do you actually picture your journey into the future?
So, research shows that people tend to see time in one of two ways. The moving ego perspective is like you're driving a car toward a destination. You're the active agent moving towards your goals. This creates a sense of control. The moving time perspective, though, is like you're standing still on a train platform and deadlines are just trains rushing at you. This fosters a sense of passivity and avoidance. I mean, why bother preparing if this stressful thing is just going to hit you anyway? Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem, we understand the math behind it, the psychology behind it. Now for the most important part, the solution. And the solution isn't to just try harder or have more willpower. It's to be a better architect. So what this means is we can actually hack this equation. We can systematically go after each part of it. Want to reduce delay? Easy. Create smaller, more frequent deadlines, little milestones. Want to tackle impulsiveness? Block out your time, turn off your phone, remove those temptations. How do you increase value? Add small, immediate rewards for finishing a step. And to boost your expectancy, will you just break down those huge, scary projects into smaller, totally doable parts? You see? You're not just trying harder, you're actively changing the variables of your own motivation.
And this really is the fundamental takeaway. We have to stop thinking about motivation as some magical, innate quality that people either have or they don't. It's a system, it's an environment. It is an architecture that you can intentionally design and build for yourself and for the people you lead. So the next time you feel that magnetic pull to put something off, just stop for a second. Don't go down that same old road of blaming your character or your willpower. Instead, look at the system. Analyze the architecture. Ask yourself, how can I make this more valuable right now? How can I make myself believe I can do this? How can I shrink that delay? The real power isn't in trying to force yourself to do something. It's in becoming a smarter architect of your own motivation.